Hey Eurovision fans, the final of Melodi Grand Prix, Norway's national final, is happening tomorrow, Saturday the 3rd of February. We have 9 acts competing in Trondheim for the honour of representing Norway in Eurovision 2024 in Malmö, Sweden. I'm going to talk about all 9 of the acts, including the main favourites, and tell you who I think will win and who I think should win. Then we'll also look at the odds and the community rankings and see, could Norway get their first top 3 finish since 2009? So let's kiki. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Tom. I'm an Irish Eurovision analyst, and you can find all of this stuff in my Eurovision channel. By the way, I'm going for a slightly more panned out camera angle today. Let me know what you think. Did you prefer this, or do you prefer... I feel like sometimes I'm a little bit too close and you're looking up at my nose, so I decided to go backwards today. So before we talk about the 9 acts who are going to be in the final, let's talk a little bit about the format. So the final this year is happening in Trondheim, Norway. They've got this newish arena, I believe. It's much bigger. It's going to be really cool. So the performances that we saw before were in a smaller studio. This is going to be on a big proper stage with big LEDs, much more space for people to move back and forward with their dancers and their choreography. So there's going to be a huge glow up between the semi-finals and the final that's happening tomorrow. We've also got a new rule in terms of the jury televote split. It's going to be 60% televote, 40% jury this year. This is a new thing that the Norwegian delegation brought in because they're trying to push the EBU to give more of an emphasis to the televote. If you look back at Norway's recent results, their televote has been higher than their jury for the last 5 years in a row. Total coincidence. Of course, that has no connection to what Stig Karlsson is doing. He's just looking out for the contest and what's in the best interest of Eurovision fans. But this isn't that a normal thing. UMK has a 75% televote. Benidorm Fest only has 25%. So lots of different national finals play around with different televote percentages. We also have the running order for the final, and we can see here that the opening act is going to be Keiino. Now, if you saw my semi-final 3 analysis video, you'll see I was talking about the possibility, not definitely, but possibility of songs later in the running order being favored. We saw all 3 semi-finals. The last 3 songs qualified from each of them. Could be a coincidence, but we're going to find out now because Keiino are first in the running order. This is a great way for them to show that running order doesn't matter. But if we do look historically, this is a great tweet from ESC Mark with 2 Ks, where they've gone back through all the previous Melodi Grand Prix and shown where the winning song was in the running order. So 2016, it was the last song. 2017, pretty early, the 4th song, 1 out of 10. 2018, the last song. 2019, the last song. 2020, the second last song. 2021, 7th of 12. 2022, second last song, and last year, last song. So 7 of the last Melodi Grand Prix that have happened, the winners come from the second half. Could be various reasons for that. They're obviously different contests. But yeah, look, there is this kind of slight perception that the Norwegian public has not a memory issue, but they're more interested in the later songs. It could be a producer-led thing as well. In any case, there's a great chance for Keiino to prove that that is all nonsense by winning from first in the running order slot. My analysis of this is that they had Keiino and they had My AI, who've got a very similar, fun, upbeat vibe, and they just wanted to put them as far away as possible. And My AI has much higher streams and chart position, so I think that they said, okay, this song has been more successful, we'll put it last. I don't know what the actual reason they made for that decision is, but it's a pretty big decision. It could definitely influence the final. Keiino were one of the favourites. They've been drawn first. Other than that, I think everyone else's draw is pretty good. I think there's actually really good variation here. They've got lots of musical styles, so there's a good mix up in tempo between all the songs. Gåte obviously performing in 8th, kind of fitting in with that. The songs near the end win, and also Super Rob and Erika also being drawn last is also beneficial to them. So let's talk about the 3 favourites, and the first one I'm going to talk about is Super Rob and Erika. So if you saw my MGP video where I reacted to all 16 songs, this was one of my highest ranked songs, and it is my highest ranked song personally that's in the final. That said, I do not think that Norway should pick Super Rob and Erika. I really like this song. It's very fun, very playful. I love the imagery. I love how carefree and whimsical it is. I think a lot of kids are going to really like this because it's fun with the robot. She's got the manga styling. The beat's very fun and boppy, and I like that the song theme is really topical, talking about AI and this relationship. I think that's very current and actually kind of interesting, even though they're doing it in quite a flippant way. The lyrics are interesting. Now, why do I think that Norway shouldn't send this? I think this is too similar to what Norway have been sending in the last 5 years. So Obviously, there's a huge overlap with Give That Wolf a Banana from 2022. Obviously, Gåte is in both of these songs. Gåte was the DJ in Subwoofer. He is, I don't know, is he actually in the Super Rob costume or is he just doing the voice at the side? We know that he can't dance, so that's why he was the DJ. But then also with Keiino in 2019, that was also this kind of upbeat bop party feel. And then Tix in 2021 was also with the dramatic staging with the angels and the demons. So Norway lately has been big on the kind of camp, crazy, fun. And like I said earlier in the video, this is why their televote has been doing really, really well. They won the televote in 2019. They've been top 13 in the televote in the last 5 years, including first place in 2019, third place last year, and 7th place in 22. So Norway are good at the televote. They definitely know how to entertain and get a fun message across. This it feels like the same thing. I think this would do pretty well in the televote. You know, maybe top 10. If they get a little bit of luck, it could be top 5 in the televote. The jury score is going to suck again. Like, this is definitely keeping up the trend of good televote score, get murdered by the jury, feeding into this thing that Norwegian delegation are doing right now where they're trying to get the televote score adjusted to favor this pattern that they have. I think a better strategy is just to send a song that also does well with the jury, and this isn't going to do well with the jury. I really love this entry, really fun, but I think Norway needs to mix it up, and this is not a mix up at all. This is back to basics. I think this is a weaker song than Give That Wolf a Banana as well. That was my number 1 in 2022. I don't think the song is as strong. I don't think the lyrics are as funny. And I don't think the overall package is as good. I still really enjoy it. And this is my favorite song in the final, but I do not want this to win. I think Norway has better choices, which I'm going to come to very soon. Let's talk about our second favorite, and that is Keiino singing Dam Diggy Da. Bloody hell, that song is so catchy. After that performance, I had that song stuck in my head so freaking bad. Not necessarily in a good way. I was kind of like, get out of my head. But still, having a catchy hook is good for the televote, especially when you're playing it in the recap 3-4 times and it really gets glued into people's head and then they start voting for you. Yeah, this feels very similar to Super Rob and Erica. It's got a little bit more class, I'd say. It's a little less goofy. It's still pretty goofy and it's still quite trashy, but it's still super fun. The performance is really entertaining. This box playing the keyboard piano and then they pop out and then we've got some backflips. I love the dancers with the box TVs. There's lots of things that are really enjoyable about this. This again feels like what Norway have been doing for the last 5 years, and what better way to sum it up by the fact that this is the artist that they sent 5 years ago in 2019, which won the televote. I think the contest has moved up in standards since. Plus, this song I think is weaker than Spirit in the Sky, which I felt was like a better pop song. So I can see kind of going back and winning the televote again at all. I think probably top 10, no, definitely top 10 in the televote, maybe top 5. I can't see them winning it. I think the result will be lower. They came 7th in 2019. There's no way the jury is going to vote up Dam Diggy Da with some guys with box heads. Fred's only lyric in the entire song is Dam Diggy Da, and then Tom has like 2 lines. I don't think, even with Alexandra's big jury note, the jury's going to murder this, absolutely. And we're back to Norway's same old story. This is something that has already been tried, both in the song, the styling, but also literally in the artist as well. And Norway needs to move forward and look towards something different if they want to get on the podium. So Norway have been top 10, 7 of the last 10 years. That's exceptional. I'm not criticizing that at all. That's amazing. Most countries dream of having such a record, and Norway are 5th in the all-time rankings in the last 10 years. So really, really excellent. I'm not criticizing that element. I'm criticizing it from the aspect of I want to see Norway on the podium. I want to see them top 3, which they haven't been since 2019. And the way they got to do that is they got to have a song that's a full package that also appeals to the jury more. And unfortunately, I don't think Dam Diggy Da does that job. Very entertaining show. If they win from the opening, I gotta emphasize, if Super Rob and Erica or Keiino win, I'm going to be pretty happy with it. I gotta admit, Dam Diggy Da is not my favorite song, but I like Keiino. I think they're very professional and they take it quite seriously. And I'm pretty sure that they would scrape Norway into the top 10. So I'm okay with them going. I'm not hating on them at all, but I want to see Norway win really soon. This is not the right path to take in the road. So what is the right path? I'm saying all these things I don't want. What do I want? Well, let's go to our third favorite, and that is Gåte singing Ulvaham, which means wolf skin or wolf something. Werewolf skin, I think. It's not too important because people who don't speak Norwegian aren't going to have a clue what's going on. This is absolutely spectacular. If you saw my video where I reviewed all 18 songs, I think I had this ranked around 8th. I didn't hate it, I didn't love it, I just didn't really think that much about it, to be honest. Then when I saw this semi-final, it blew my mind. I loved this performance. It elevated the absolute crap out of this performance. I love the geometric shapes they were making with the band, these kind of X's. I loved the lighting. I loved Gunhild on this rotating platform with all the moss and nature on it. I loved how every single member of the band was entertaining me, which I think is such a great thing when you have a band. Voyager did that last year, where you could look at anybody on the stage and they were doing something super cool. You didn't just have to focus on the lead singer. Like in this, we have the guitarists and the drummers, they're swapping sides, they're jumping around. We have him doing guitar loops where he's spinning the guitar around his head. You can watch anyone on the stage and be super entertained. And then you have Gunhild in the middle, incredible intensity, staring into the camera, piercing energy. There's this really interesting tweet on Twitter from Subflowery talking about the singing style. She's saying Gunhild and Gåte is doing a song technique called kvedding. Her singing shouting at the refrain is what I would call kalking. In old days, it was a way for the shepherd girl to collect the herd. It is, of course, a bit different than a normal course, but her range and power is insane. So yeah, this type of sing style sounds really historical, very ethnic, super interesting. Gunhild's singing throughout the whole thing is fantastic, and that iconic moment where she leans back on the rock singing upwards is just a real wow moment that they can put in the recap of the televote sequence. The key thing here for me is that they took someone like me who was on the fence, not really fussed, and they made me absolutely love this. They elevated it so much, and I would be very tempted to vote for this if I saw it in the Eurovision final. Now imagine the people who went into the performance already loving the song. Their brains would just be like exploding. They'd be voting for this furiously. This is a real good example of what elevation is. Being able to convert those people who maybe wouldn't absolutely love the song, but you're convincing them to vote for you anyway. Marco Mangoni was a great example of that last year. I still don't like Due Vite. I don't dislike it, I just don't download it or listen to it. But I loved his performance because he elevated, and I thought the staging was super cool and beautiful. So that's a really, really, really great song when you're converting people who normally wouldn't be interested. And that's why I think Norway needs to sing Gåte. It would be the first song in Norwegian since 2006, Alve Dansen. It would be the first non-pop song since 2006 Alve Dansen or 2005 Wigwam, depending what you consider pop or not. It's something new, it's experimentation, it's a rock song, it's folky. And the great thing about this is they're trying so many new things at once. They're trying like 5-6 new things, and this could really open the doors for future years that will get more and more interesting entries in Norway. They'll break down the barriers of what you can do to win. You know, we haven't had a ballad in a long time. We would have had a ballad in 2020, but unfortunately Ulrika didn't go. Actually, Ulrika would have done very, very well with the juries, but unfortunately 2020 cancelled. This for me is an absolute no-brainer. This is by far the best thing that Norway has this year, and it's very obvious to me that this is what they should send. I hope that the jury don't mark them down too much. Be interesting to see how the international jury reacts to this. I understand that Gåte have a big following in the country, so I think that their televote should be pretty good, and they've got a good running order, being second last in the final. So with that in mind, I've told you who I want to win. Who do I think is going to win? Well, I think that kind of going first is going to really dent their chances, and I don't think that they're going to do massively well with the jury. If Norway had a super final, Estonia have a super final. Norway used to have it, which is where you have a first round of voting and then you have 2 or 3 entries in the final super final. So Norway used to have that, but they don't have it this year. If they had the super final, the draw wouldn't affect Keiino because they'd be in the super final with Super Robin Erika or Gåte. I'm guessing that this will come down to Gåte and Super Robin Erika. I'm hoping that Norway choose something new and go for Gåte, even though my favorite song is My AI. Okay, outside of those top 3 though, could there be any surprises? Well, definitely. I think this final is super high quality. I think there's so many amazing acts. So let's talk about some of the other 6 and who would be my dark horses. So my first dark horse who could potentially pull out a win is Jag Erik and Anne Fayermo singing Judge Tenderly of Me. This is really beautiful, very different, stripped back staging, very reminiscent of Netherlands 2014. It's a real calm amongst the storm, a moment of serenity in what is very much a very chaotic national final. You look at a lot of these songs, they're very tension grabbing, they're very televote friendly, and then you have this song that is just more low-key. Apparently country music is very popular in Norway, so if those people start voting, or people of different generations, you just want something a little bit more grounded. This is very, very unique and it stands out. I do think that Mia Green Lights also being the final will affect this, because she is also giving a camera vibe. I don't think that her package is as strong as Jag Erik and Anne, and I do think that she's going to take some of their votes. So if Mia wasn't here, or vice versa, but yeah, I can see a world where Jag Erik wins. This definitely should do well in the jury. I could see a world actually where it kind of wins or comes second in the jury, and then it's just about the televote, then kind of just getting a vibe. They've got a great running order. They're between Margaret and Gåte, so two quite high energy, loud songs, and then you have this moment of calm between them. This would also be something super different for Norway. I would love it if it was a Norwegian. That would be, I wouldn't mind if this went, but I would be quite surprised. Another dark horse in a quite literal sense is Gothminister. I was very surprised by Gothminister's performance in the first semi-final. I thought it was very camp, very entertaining. Very much elevated a song, which I felt was a little bit flat. It gave it levels with everything that's going on the stage. I think it's really fun. Again, a very strong televote song. He's third in the running order. I don't know if that could reduce his chances. I'd be happy with almost all of these songs going, to be honest. But I do think that some of them have much more potential than others. I think Gåte could be top 5. I think Superchats and Erica will probably be 8th to 15th. I think Keiino probably the same. Gothminister, I have no idea. It would definitely stand out because it would be something very unique visually and sonically. And then another person I think other people think is a dark horse, but I don't personally, is Margaret. I gotta admit, I kind of forgot about Margaret. Often when I'm writing these videos, I'll say my thoughts out loud. I did my potential winners, I did my dark horses, then I was talking about everyone else, and I realized, oh, Margaret's there. I genuinely forgot about her. It's a good song, don't get me wrong. I listened to it and it does sound kind of Norwegian. It's got Margaret's special sound. The staging for me is probably the letdown place. It's too Swedish. This is really, really Swedish staging. I'm not getting the Norwegian feel, whereas I get the Norwegian feel from everyone else. I think like MGP has a really strong staging identity. It's that funness that really Norway is so good at, which is why they're so good at the televote. And I'm not getting that from Margaret. It does feel like that more jury bait slickness that Sweden are really known for. Really polished, well produced, great choreography. Like, I'm not saying I hate this or anything, but I genuinely forgot about it. I've been listening to it as well on my playlist and I still forgot about it. I don't think that's a good sign. Okay, let's talk about the other songs that are in the final. We have Anne Princess in second in the running order. Really hope that she gets a 12 from someone. I really like Anne Princess. I think the staging is very pretty and I like the message of the song. Some of the interactive choreography that she does with her dancers is super cool. In fourth in the running order, we have Ingrid Jasmine with Aya. Hopefully this dance break has got a glam up, because this dance break gave me nothing. I would love an elevation of costumes as well. She was in the first semi-final, so she's had loads of time to look at everyone else and make some improvements. I really would like this to come to the MGP final elevated a lot, because right now it's not on my radar to win at all, not even as a surprise. It's not got enough spark. I really enjoy this song. Mia, she's fifth in the running order. I spoke about her a little bit already. I think that she loses the mini battle with Jag Erik and Anne. I think that's probably why she was put earlier in the running order. Okay, so let's have a quick look at the current odds, and we can see the current favourites to win are Gåte with 53% chance. Second, we have Keiino 29% chance, even though they're first in the running order. Imagine if they weren't first. I imagine that would be even higher. Third, we have Superchats and Erica. That's only at 6%. Again, a little bit surprising considering that they are kind of winning the streaming charts. They've done the best in terms of chart success out of everybody. And we've got 60% televote, so televote is a little bit more important. I definitely think Erica having a stronger vocal performance in the final than she did in the semi-final. I don't think she was that bad in the semi-final. I think people were exaggerating a little bit because some people just really don't like the song. But yeah, being even stronger will help with the jury and the televote. Gothminister in fourth with 4%, Mia in fifth, Jag Erik and Keiino in sixth. I think this could jump up if they have a really great performance. Remember, this is going to be on a bigger stage. They have more potential for LEDs and whatnot. Margaret in seventh, Anne Princess and Ingrid Jasmine. Yeah, I agree with most of that. I do think, like I said, Jag Erik will jump up. I think Superchats and Erica is probably a little bit too low there. I think they have a bit more of a chance than that to win. But yeah, I love that Gåte are 53%. I think this is a fantastic choice for Norway in terms of their long-term strategy of achieving a podium finish, not necessarily this year, but in the coming years. Very much looking forward to this final on Saturday. It's going to be the main thing I'm watching. This and Benidorm Fest are the main things I'm excited for on Saturday, and they're kind of staggered because Benidorm Fest is so late, which I actually kind of appreciate. So you can follow me on Twitter if you want, because I'm going to be tweeting all my thoughts about the final as it happens. Thank you so much to Kate Anne for supporting me on PayPal. You can also support me on Buy Me a Coffee. I'll leave links for you in the description. And of course, a big shout out to all my patrons all over the world for patronizing me. On my Patreon, you can see the original audio versions of my reaction videos when I get copyrighted. You can also join our My Eurovision Scoreboard group and get some behind the scenes updates as well. So go check that out if you're a fan of the channel. But of course, thank you so much just for watching and maybe leaving a like or maybe sharing the video. And thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in another Eurovision analysis video very soon. Goodbye. Blah, 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 blah. Why am I doing